The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
You've even said, you say you're sending a team of researchers to Hawaii to take a look at whether or not that is the case. Mr. Trump, I mean, this has been debunked by so many people on so many levels, including CNN. We did our own documentary. We've been to Hawaii numerous times, speaking with people not only who knew his parents, but the childhood school teacher, the babysitter, young students who knew him. But you say yourself, Mr. Obama, that there's nobody who remembered him as a young child in Hawaii. And we've spoken to those people who do remember him. I want you to listen. Just take a listen here to what they say, what they recall.
He was very funny. He was really warm, friendly, kind of a prankster.
Smile, big smile. Lefty, a nice little left-hand jump shot from the corner. And, you know, and nothing but net very often.
So, Mr. Trump, I mean, in listening to people who are there in Hawaii who recall him as a boy, you say there was no one who recalled him from kindergarten or from his young childhood on The View. There are people who are there who recall him being born there. The governor says that he recalls him being born there. There is evidence that he's proven forward.
I'm sure the governor really recalls him. I think the governor's taken a bullet for the party. Look, I didn't say that. You have to be born in the country. If he was 3 years old or 2 years old or 1 year old and people remember him, that's irrelevant. You have to be born in the country. There's no birth certificate. There's only a certificate of live birth, which is a totally different thing and a much, much lower standard. There are no hospital records. His own family doesn't know what hospital he was born in Hawaii, but you have no hospital records in any of the hospitals that he was born in. No bills, no room numbers, no nothing. They do have for other people, but they don't have for Obama. His grandmother in Kenya said that he was born in Kenya. Now, he could have been born, and she said it very strongly, that he was born in Kenya. She was there when he was born. And the newspapers were a week late, so he could have been born in Kenya and gone over to the United States, and everybody wants to be a U.S. citizen, and his grandparents put an ad in saying that he was born in the United States because of all the benefits you get from being born in the United States. I think CNN has not done a very good job.
I have to interrupt here because I know what you're talking about. I know the report you're talking about. Within that interview itself, it has been discredited. There is an interview that was done here, and in the interview, Obama's step-grandmother says that she was there when he was born. The interpreter realizes when the questioner again asks him if he was born in Kenya that she was misinterpreted, that was not correct.
I see. Now it's a misinterpretation.
Well, I mean, if you listen to the interview and you see the transcript here, it says no, Obama was not born in Mombasa. He was born in America. The interviewer, the translator, asks again if this is the whereabouts of when he was born. He thought he was born in Kenya. And he says, no, he was born in America, not in Mombasa. Okay. So the information about the Kenyan, absolutely, but the Kenyan grandmother, that report was disputed within the interview itself. And you're a man of great credibility. I would assume that you would want to make sure that in fact was the case.
Well, you know, you have people that dispute what you're saying, and I say it with great respect. And by the way, I hope he was born in the United States. I'd like it to be, because if I decide to run, I would like to really do it on a very, very straight-up, head-to-head, man-to-man basis. I mean, honestly, I hope he was born, because if he wasn't, it's the greatest scam in history, not political history, in history. But you have a lot of documentation, and you have a lot of documentation, by the way, not only here, but stuff that's missing. Why are there no hospital records? Why does his family not even know the hospital he was born in? And just out of curiosity, why can't he produce a birth certificate? I hope he can.
Well, I know you've seen. I mean, clearly, Mr. Trump, I know you've seen the certificate of live birth that was presented by the White House. The Governor Abercrombie says that this is the official document.
Really?
He does in fact say that.
Nobody wants to sign it. Why doesn't nobody signed it? Since when I have a birth certificate signed by 3 different people. Why is it that it isn't signed? A certificate of live birth, you can't even get a driver's license with a certificate of live birth. You can't get a wedding license with it is totally different from a birth certificate.
I think you're
and you really believe, and let me ask you this. Do you really believe that that the governor of the state of Hawaii was there when he was born. Give me a break.
I've spoken to the governor of Hawaii, Abercrombie, when I did the documentary on the president. He's very close friends with the mother as well as the father.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hardly knew them.
Relationship.
Oh, I see. He was in the hospital.
You'll have to speak to him yourself. But I mean, I have spoken with the governor, Governor Abercrombie, and I know this is a debate. It continues, but I mean, clearly there is information and there's evidence on this side that point to the fact that the president was born in Hawaii. But I know that this is not an issue that is really all that important to American voters. Our latest poll is showing that 70% want to move on and talk about some other things. I'm glad that we had
what about the 30%? Do they not count?
Well, of course they count, but I'm certainly glad that we had an opportunity to talk about some of the other issues. Clearly, your own doctrine, domestic policy, as well as international. So, Donald Trump, thank you very much.
Well, that is my main issue, and I'd just like to see the United States be great again and not be ripped off by every country throughout the world, which is happening right now. And that is 99% of what I'm all about.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.